Flanagan, a political and economic analyst and senior fellow at the independent Taiha Institute. World Today is news without the hype and business commentary that is informed and up to date, presenting the facts and asking incisive questions. So, join us if you are someone who needs to know what is happening in China as it is happening.
CGTN Radio. Hear the difference.
Now the news. I'm Shane Bigham. Chinese President Xi Jinping has met U.S. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and his delegation in Beijing. Xi Jinping said the China-U.S. relationship is the most important one in the world, and how the two countries get along with each other in the face of a world of change and turmoil will determine the future of mankind. He said China and the U.S. must demonstrate the broad-mindedness, vision, and responsibility of major countries and work to enhance the well-being of the people and promote societal progress. He said the world is developing and times are changing, but the historic logic of peaceful coexistence between China and the United States has not changed. Earlier, senior Chinese diplomat Wang Yi also met Schumer and the U.S. bipartisan delegation. Dong Shui has more in Beijing.
For their opening remarks, both sides expressed a willingness to strengthen communication and to responsibly manage the bilateral relationship. Wang said that Beijing hopes this visit can contribute to a more objective understanding of China in the U.S. Congress and help stabilize and improve bilateral relations. He also reiterated that China and the U.S. have very different cultural and historical backgrounds, but these differences should not hinder each other's development, and instead both nations need to respect each other's development paths. And Schumer, on the other hand, acknowledged that the competition is natural in areas like trade, technology, and diplomacy between these two countries. He said, and I quote, "We welcome this competition, however, we do not seek conflict."
Israel's cabinet declared a state of war after Hamas attacked on Saturday. At least 700 Israelis have died so far. That includes 260 young people attending the Nova Festival, an outdoor music event near the Gaza-Israel fence. Israeli airstrikes have killed over 400 in Gaza in retaliation for one of the bloodiest attacks in its history. Noor Harazin has more in the Gaza Strip.
It has been a very hard night on the people of Gaza. The Israeli planes targeted hundreds of target sites, buildings, houses, especially in Ashraf refugee camp. And when we are saying camp, this means that homes are very close to each other. There is only very small alleys between these homes. Hundreds of people, refugees basically, are living there. There's hundreds of Palestinian people that were killed, and we're talking about whole families. Also, and because of the Israeli airstrikes on Gaza on the past 3 days, the infrastructure in Gaza is partly damaged. The fuel is running out from the electricity companies.
Some international airlines have suspended flights serving Tel Aviv amid the clashes between Israel and Hamas. Several U.S. air carriers say services will remain unavailable until conditions improve. Tel Aviv is the most populous city and an economic hub in Israel. It's home to many international agencies and missions. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says the Pentagon is sending warships and fighter jets to the eastern Mediterranean in a show of support for Israel amid escalating conflicts between Israeli forces and Hamas fighters. Austin said he directed the movement of the USS Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group, which consists of the aircraft carrier, a guided missile cruiser, and 4 guided missile destroyers to the eastern Mediterranean. He said the Pentagon has also taken steps to augment U.S. Air Force fighter aircraft squadrons in the region. American economic historian Claudia Golden has won the 2023 Nobel Economics Prize for her work examining wage inequality between men and women. The award is the last of this year's crop of Nobel Prizes. Golden's only the 3rd woman to win the Nobel Economics Prize. Hainan province has ordered the suspension of all ferry services in the Chongzhou Strait as Typhoon Koinu approaches. The typhoon's forecast to bring strong gales and heavy rains to the northern half of the island province from Monday night to Wednesday. The typhoon's weakened to a severe tropical storm. It's still gradually weakening and moving toward the eastern coast of Hainan. Local railway authorities have suspended passenger train services into and out of the island. Calvin Kiptum set a new world record on Sunday as he ran the Chicago Marathon in 2 hours and 34 seconds. The 23-year-old Kenyan was behind the current world record pace at the halfway mark, but picked up the pace at the end to make history. On the women's side, Stefan Hassan from the Netherlands won the race in 2 hours, 13 minutes, and 44 seconds. The result is the second fastest women's time in marathon history and a Chicago course record. And that's the news. I'm Jim Butler.
Find out what the whole world is thinking in the agenda.
This week on the agenda, the green transition as the world's biggest energy summit takes place in Abu Dhabi. Are we ready for a post-carbon world? This week, energy ministers and experts from around the world gathered in the United Arab Emirates for the Abu Dhabi International Progressive Energy Congress, or ADIPEC. As climate change catastrophes continue to hit the headlines, the transition to a greener future was, of course, top of the agenda. Well, with me now is the Director General of the International Renewable Energy Agency, Francesco La Camera. Now, I wonder, how far off track do you think the global clean energy transition is?
We made this very clear. So last year was a record year of new renewable solar capacity. It was almost 300 megawatts. But if you want to stay in a pathway that is consistent with the achievement of the 1.5 Celsius goal of the Paris Agreement, we have to scale up to 1,000 gigawatts per year. So we have to triple the installed capacity of renewables every year. We need to have 11,000 gigawatts of renewable solar capacity by 2030. Today, we have 3,000 gigawatts of renewable installed capacity.